I'm Alan Taylor. I hold the Thomas Jefferson Memorial Foundation Chair at the University of Virginia. I came to this project by an unusual route. In Nova Scotia, I was doing research in the public archives when I came across the records of African American refugees from the War of 1812 who were being settled there in 1815, 16, and 17. And I didn't know anything about this story. And so I set out to find more, and that's what led me to write the book, The Internal Enemy. The internal enemy helps us to understand the founding as being a complicated one. We're of course very familiar with the ways in which the revolution creates more opportunity for common men, more economic opportunity, higher social status, and more political rights. But what it doesn't often tell us is that this came at the expense of African American communities and family life, that they became much more at risk to be sold at longer distances away from their families as a result of changing laws introduced by the Revolution. Comparing the British invasion of Virginia during the Revolution and their invasion of the War of 1812, and in terms of how African Americans responded to that, the biggest difference is that the British invasion is a much more intensive one during the Revolution, involving much larger numbers of men, going much deeper into the country as far as Charlottesville. And so as a consequence, it provides an opportunity for many more African Americans to escape than was the case during the War of 1812, when the British primarily operated in the waters of Chesapeake Bay and tended to go only a few miles inland in their raids, with the one big exception of when they raided and captured Washington, D.C. in August of 1814. Well, the George Washington Book Prize is one that's devoted to the study of early American history, and particularly of the age of the American Revolution. And that's my specialty, so it's a special honor to be considered for the George Washington Prize.